The words hit me like a slap across the face. I was sitting in my comfortable Denver condo, looking out at the mountains I'd worked 30 years to afford, and my own son was calling me broke. "Derek, I was just asking if you wanted to join me at Lake Tahoe for Emma's graduation celebration," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I've been planning this trip for months." "Mom, be realistic. Ashley and I can't afford $1,000 flights right now, and honestly, neither should you. Maybe it's time to start thinking more practically about money at your age." At my age, I was 65, not 95, and I'd been managing money since before he was born. "I can afford my own vacation, Derek. I was offering to help with yours." "Help?" He laughed, and it wasn't a kind sound. "Mom, you're on a fixed income. You should be saving every penny, not throwing money away on fancy lake houses. This whole independent woman thing stopped being cute years ago." I felt something cold settle in my chest. 10 years ago, when I'd finally found the courage to divorce his father after 28 years of a loveless marriage, Derek had been furious. Not because we were unhappy, he knew we were, but because it shattered his picture-perfect family image. "Derek, I worked 30 years in marketing. I have my pension, my 401k, and—" "Mom, stop. Just stop pretending you're some kind of businesswoman. You were Dad's wife, and now you're a divorced woman on Social Security. There's a difference." The line went quiet. In that silence, I heard everything Derek really thought about me. That my career hadn't mattered. That my financial independence was an illusion. That I was just a pathetic old woman pretending to be something I wasn't. "You know what, Derek? You're right about one thing. There is a difference between who I was and who I am now. I'm stronger. Mom, enjoy your summer at home. Emma and I will have a wonderful time at the lake." I hung up before he could respond. My hands were shaking, not from hurt, though that was there too, but from anger. Pure, clean anger. I'd spent 10 years rebuilding my life after my divorce. I'd taken early retirement with a full pension. I'd invested wisely. I'd bought this condo with cash. And I'd been taking solo trips to Lake Tahoe every summer for 5 years, staying in the same beautiful rental house that overlooked the water. My phone buzzed with a text from Emma, my stepdaughter from a brief relationship I'd had 3 years after my divorce. "Grandma B, can't wait for Tahoe. Derek says you can't afford it, but I know he's wrong. He's always underestimating you." Smart girl. She was the only family member who'd supported my independence from day one. But as I set my phone down, something was nagging at me. Derek's words had been especially cruel today, more pointed than usual. And there'd been something in his tone. That's when I decided to check my credit card account, just to be safe. What I found there would change everything. My fingers trembled as I stared at my phone screen. There, in neat digital rows, was the evidence of my son's betrayal spelled out in dollars and cents. 4 round-trip tickets to Cancun, but the $300 each, $5,200 total. All-inclusive resort, 7 nights, $4,800. Car rental, $350. Travel insurance, $200. Total, $10,550 charged to my American Express card just 3 hours ago. The same son who just told me I couldn't afford a $300 flight had charged over $10,000 to my credit card for his own family vacation to Mexico. I sat there in my kitchen, the late afternoon sun streaming through the windows, and felt something I hadn't experienced in years. The peculiar calm that comes before a storm. My first instinct was to call Derek immediately, to scream, to demand an explanation. But 30 years in corporate marketing had taught me something valuable. Never react in anger when you can respond with strategy. Instead, I opened my laptop and began documenting everything. Screenshots of the charges, screenshots of our phone conversation timestamp. I even had our call recorded, a habit I'd developed after my divorce when my ex-husband had tried to gaslight me about financial agreements. Then I called my bank. American Express Fraud Department. This is Michael speaking. "Hello, Michael. I need to dispute several charges on my account. Over $10,000 worth of charges I didn't authorize." "I'm sorry to hear that, Mrs. Mitchell. Can you give me the details?" I read off each charge, my voice getting steadier with each item. Michael was professional, sympathetic, and most importantly, he took me seriously. "Mrs. Mitchell, these charges were made with a card physically present. Do you have your card with you?" I checked my wallet. My card was there, but something clicked in my memory. Last month, when Derek and Ashley had visited for my birthday, Ashley had insisted on helping me organize my purse. She'd made such a big deal about how disorganized I was, how I needed to be more careful with my important documents. Michael, I believe my card was cloned. What are my options? We can dispute all charges and issue you a new card immediately. We'll also put a fraud alert on your account. The temporary credits should appear within 24 hours while we investigate. And what happens to whoever made these charges? If they're fraudulent, they'll be reversed. If the person used your card without permission, that's credit card fraud. We'll provide all documentation to law enforcement if you choose to pursue it. After I hung up with Michael, I called the airline directly. Southwest Airlines, this is Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. I need to cancel 4 tickets that were purchased fraudulently on my credit card today. I'm sorry to hear that. Can you provide the confirmation number? I read it off. There was typing, then a pause. Mrs. Mitchell, I see the reservation here. 4 passengers. Derek Mitchell, Ashley Mitchell, Derek Mitchell Jr., and Sophia Mitchell. The flight is tomorrow morning to Cancun. Tomorrow morning. They were planning to leave tomorrow, with my money, probably thinking I'd never check my account before they were safely out of the country. Jennifer, these tickets were purchased without my authorization. I've already disputed the charges with my credit card company. I understand. I can cancel these tickets immediately. There will be a cancellation fee, but given the circumstances, I can waive that. Please cancel them. Done. The passengers will need to purchase new tickets if they want to travel. As I hung up, my phone started ringing. Derek. I let it go to voicemail, then listened to his message. Mom, call me back. There's been some kind of mistake with our flights. They're saying they've been canceled. No mistake, Derek. Just consequences. But I wasn't ready to talk to him yet. First, I had one more call to make. Emma, it's Grandma B. Are you still excited about Lake Tahoe? Of course. Why? Because I just upgraded us to the premium lake house, and I have a story to tell you about your stepbrother that's going to shock you. The real confrontation was coming, but this time, I'd be ready. The doorbell rang first, 3 sharp, demanding bursts. Then came the pounding. Barbara, open this door right now. We need to talk. Ashley's voice carried that particular brand of entitled fury that I'd come to know well over the past 5 years. The tone of someone who'd never been told no and couldn't process it when it finally happened. I looked through the peephole. Ashley stood there in her designer workout clothes, the ones she'd bought with Derek's bonus last Christmas, her face flushed red with anger. Derek was behind her, looking uncomfortable but not apologetic. I opened the door but kept the chain lock engaged. What can I do for you, Ashley? You can explain why you canceled our vacation, she hissed through the crack. Do you have any idea what you've done? I canceled charges that were made to my credit card without my permission. That's called fraud. Derek stepped forward. Mom, come on. It was just a misunderstanding. I was going to call you before or after you got back from Cancun. His face told me everything I needed to know. We'll pay you back, Ashley said, her voice shifting to fake sweetness. You know we're good for it. This is just temporary until Derek's promotion comes through. The promotion he's been expecting for 3 years? Ashley's mask slipped. Look, Barbara, I don't know what kind of power trip you're on, but this is ridiculous. We're family. Family helps each other. You're absolutely right, Ashley. Family does help each other. They also ask before they help themselves to $10,000. 10,000? Derek looked genuinely shocked. Mom, I thought it was just the flights. Ashley shot him a look that could have frozen lava. In that instant, I realized Derek might not have known about all the charges. His wife had been busy. The flights, the all-inclusive resort, the car rental, the insurance, I said, watching Ashley's face go pale. Your wife was very thorough. Ashley? Derek turned to her. You said it was just the flights. You said Mom wouldn't mind helping with just the flights. Derek, don't. You used my mother's credit card for $10,000 without asking either of us. The crack in their united front was everything I'd hoped for and more. She can afford it, Ashley snapped. Look at this place. Look at her furniture. She's sitting on a fortune while we're struggling with 2 kids and a mortgage. I worked for everything I have, I said quietly. For 30 years, through night classes to get my degree. Through promotions your husband thought I was too stupid to earn. through a divorce that everyone told me I was too old to survive. Whatever. Ashley waved her hand dismissively. The point is, the damage is done. The kids are devastated. Sophie's been telling all her friends about Cancun. Now what are we supposed to tell them? The truth, I suggested. That mommy committed credit card fraud? That's it! Ashley shoved against the door. Derek, your mother has lost her mind. We need to do something about this. Derek was staring at his wife like he'd never seen her before. Ashley, you stole from my mother. I borrowed from family. Without asking. I watched this with the fascination of an anthropologist observing a species in its natural habitat. Then I spoke. Derek, Ashley, I want you to listen very carefully. The charges have been disputed and canceled. The investigation is ongoing. If you have any questions about fraud or theft, I suggest you call the police. They'll be happy to explain the difference. I closed the door. Through the wood, I heard Ashley's voice, shrill and desperate. This isn't over, Barbara. But I was already walking back to my computer. I had a Lake Tahoe vacation to finalize, and a story to share with Emma about what real family looked like. That evening, I sat at my kitchen table with a glass of wine and opened my laptop. It was time to tell my story. For 10 years, I'd kept family drama private. I'd absorbed Derek's criticisms about my divorce, his subtle digs about my independence, his wife's passive-aggressive comments about my lifestyle. I'd done it because I thought that's what good mothers do, protect their children's reputations, even when they don't deserve it. But $10,000 in credit card fraud? That crossed a line. I opened Facebook and began typing. Friends, I need to share something difficult with you. Today I discovered that my own son and daughter-in-law charged over $10,000 to my credit card for a vacation to Cancun. Without asking, without telling me, and after telling me I was too broke to afford my own summer trip. I'm sharing this not for sympathy, but because I want other seniors to know. This kind of financial abuse is real, and we don't have to accept it silently. Trust your instincts, check your accounts, and remember that being family doesn't give anyone the right to steal from you. I hesitated for a moment before hitting post. Once this was out there would be no taking it back. But I thought about Ashley's smug face, about Derek calling me broke while he was literally robbing me, and I clicked share. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Within an hour, I had 47 comments and 62 reactions. The comments ranged from outraged support to people sharing their own stories of family financial abuse. My neighbor Linda. Barbara, I'm so sorry this happened to you. You're the strongest woman I know. They picked the wrong person to mess with. My former colleague Janet. This happened to my sister with her grandson. $8,000 in charges. She pressed charges and got every penny back. Don't let them get away with this. My book club friend, Marie. Barbara, we've watched you build an amazing independent life. Anyone who thinks you're broke doesn't know you at all. But the comment that stopped me cold came from someone I hadn't expected. My ex-husband's sister, Carol. Barbara, I owe you an apology. For years, I thought Derek was right to be angry about the divorce. I thought you were selfish for breaking up the family. But after seeing how he treats you now, I understand why you left. My brother didn't deserve you, and Derek learned his values from him. I'm sorry it took me this long to see it. I stared at that comment for a long time. Carol and I had been close once, before the divorce made everything complicated. Her acknowledgement meant more than I'd expected. The phone rang. It was Emma. Grandma B, I just saw your Facebook post. Oh my God, Derek actually stole from you? $10,000, I confirmed. That's insane. And Ashley was in on it? Ashley was the mastermind, I think. Derek seemed genuinely shocked when he found out about the total amount. Are you pressing charges? I paused. I haven't decided yet. The bank has opened a fraud investigation. That might be enough. Grandma B, can I tell you something? Derek called me an hour ago. He was freaking out because all his friends saw your Facebook post. Apparently, Ashley's been telling people for months that you're going senile and they need to start managing your money. That hit me like a physical blow. What? She's been laying groundwork, Grandma B, telling people you're making bad financial decisions, that you're getting confused, that the family needs to step in. I think this credit card thing was just the beginning. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. This wasn't just about a vacation. This was about something much bigger. Emma, I need you to do me a favor. Can you help me figure out how to check if they've tried to access any of my other accounts? Already on it. I'm studying cybersecurity, remember? We can check everything. But Grandma B, whatever they were planning, they just gave you all the evidence you need to stop them. As I hung up with Emma, I looked back at my Facebook post. 83 comments now, and the story was being shared. Derek and Ashley had made a critical mistake. They'd assumed I was weak, isolated, and ashamed. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Emma arrived at 8 p.m. with her laptop bag, a determined expression, and a thermos of coffee. At 22, she had her grandmother's sharp mind and her generation's technological fluency, a dangerous combination for anyone trying to scam her. "Okay, Grandma B, let's see what damage they've tried to do," she said, setting up her laptop on my dining room table. "Where do we start? Banking apps, investment accounts, Social Security, Medicare, insurance, anywhere they might have tried to get access." She looked up at me seriously. "But first, when was the last time Ashley was alone with your phone or computer?" I thought back. "My birthday party last month. She made such a big deal about helping me organize my purse and my papers. She said I was being careless with my personal information. Classic misdirection. While she's lecturing you about security, she's probably photographing your cards and passwords." Emma's fingers flew over her keyboard. "Let's start with your credit monitoring." She pulled up my Credit Karma account, then frowned. "Grandma B, when did you apply for a Capital One credit card?" "I didn't." "Well, someone did. 3 weeks ago. It was approved for a $15,000 limit." My stomach dropped. "That's impossible." Emma was already digging deeper. "Oh, it gets worse. Someone also tried to open a Wells Fargo account in your name, but it was flagged for fraud. And," she paused, her face going pale, "Grandma B, someone submitted a change of address form with the Postal Service. All your mail was supposed to be forwarded to Derek and Ashley's house starting next week." The room seemed to spin. "What does that mean?" "It means they were planning to intercept your mail. Bank statements, credit card bills, government correspondence, everything would have gone to their house instead of yours." I sank into my chair. This wasn't about a vacation at all. No, it wasn't. This was about taking over your finances completely. Emma's voice was grim. "The credit card fraud was probably just a test to see if you'd notice. If you hadn't caught it, they would have escalated." My phone buzzed. A text from Derek. "Mom, we need to talk. Ashley's really upset. Can we work this out as a family?" Emma read it over my shoulder. "Don't respond yet. Let's see what else they've been up to." She pulled up my social media accounts, my email, my online banking. Each discovery was worse than the last. "They've been logging into your email account regularly for the past 2 months, Emma said. "Look, they've been reading your correspondence with your financial advisor, your insurance company, even your doctor's office." "How is that possible? Did you ever give them your passwords for anything? Even something innocent like Netflix?" I thought back. "Ashley set up my Netflix account when I first got it. She said she'd use the same password for everything to make it easier for me to remember." "And you used that password for other things?" I felt my face flush. "She said it would be simpler. She even wrote it down for me and put it in my purse in case I forgot." Emma's expression was pure fury. "Grandma B, they've been stealing your identity for months. This is way beyond credit card fraud. This is elder abuse, identity theft, mail fraud, federal crimes." My phone rang. "Ashley." "Don't answer it," Emma said, "but let's record what she says." She pulled out her own phone and started a voice recording app. I answered and put it on speaker. "Barbara, thank God, we need to meet. Derek is beside himself. He had no idea about the other charges. Please, can we just sit down and work this out? Family shouldn't air their dirty laundry on Facebook." "What other activities should I know about, Ashley?" There was a pause. Too long. "I don't know what you mean." "The Capital One card, the Wells Fargo account, the address change, my email passwords." The silence stretched out so long I thought she'd hung up. "Barbara, I was trying to help you organize your finances. You're getting older and these things are complicated. Derek and I were just trying to make sure you didn't make any mistakes." "By stealing my identity?" That's a very ugly way to put it. Emma was taking screenshots of everything, documenting the digital trail of their fraud. When she looked up at me, her expression was deadly serious. "Grandma B, we need to call the police." Tonight. Ashley was still talking, her voice getting more desperate, more manipulative. But I wasn't listening anymore. I was thinking about what my life would have looked like if I hadn't checked my credit card account today. How long would it have taken me to realize what they were doing? How much would they have stolen? How close had I come to losing everything I'd worked for? Ashley, I interrupted her mid-sentence. I'll call you back. I hung up and looked at Emma. Make the call. Detective Sarah Chen arrived at my condo at 9:30 p.m. with a briefcase, a digital recorder, and the kind of calm professionalism that made me understand why Emma had insisted we call the police immediately. Mrs. Mitchell, I understand you've discovered extensive financial fraud involving family members. My son and daughter-in-law have been stealing my identity for months, I said, still getting used to saying those words out loud. Today, they charged over $10,000 to my credit card for a vacation. But that's just the beginning. Emma had organized all our discoveries into neat folders, digital and physical evidence laid out like a prosecution case. Detective Chen reviewed each item methodically, occasionally asking clarifying questions, taking notes in neat handwriting. The credit card fraud alone is a felony, she said after reviewing the American Express statements. But this... She gestured to the printouts of the fake credit applications, the email intrusions, the mail forwarding scheme. This is organized identity theft with intent to commit elder abuse. We're talking about multiple federal crimes. What does that mean exactly? I asked. It means your daughter-in-law could be looking at 10 years in federal prison. Your son, depending on his level of involvement, could face similar charges. The weight of that settled over the room. 10 years. Derek's children would graduate high school and college while he was in prison. My phone buzzed. Derek again. Detective Chen looked at me. Do you want to answer it? I can listen in and advise you. I nodded and put the phone on speaker. Mom, please. Ashley told me what you think is happening, but you're wrong. We weren't trying to steal from you. We were trying to help. Derek, there's someone here who'd like to speak with you. Detective Chen from the Denver Police Department. The silence was so complete I could hear his breathing. Derek, this is Detective Chen. I'm investigating multiple counts of credit card fraud, identity theft, and elder abuse involving your mother's accounts. I need you and your wife to come down to the station tomorrow morning to give statements. We need a lawyer. That's your right. But Derek, the evidence we have is pretty comprehensive. Your mother's been very thorough in documenting everything. After Derek hung up, Detective Chen turned to me with a serious expression. Mrs. Mitchell, I need you to understand something. Once we file these charges, there's no going back. Your son will have a felony record. Your daughter-in-law will likely face federal time. Your grandchildren will have parents with criminal records. I looked at Emma, who was watching me with concern. Then I thought about Ashley's smug face when she talked about me being too old to manage money. I thought about Derek calling me broke while he was literally robbing me blind. I thought about how close I'd come to losing everything. Detective Chen, what would have happened if I hadn't caught this today? She reviewed the documents again. Based on their pattern, I'd estimate they would have drained your accounts within 6 months. The mail forwarding would have prevented you from seeing statements. The new credit cards would have given them access to additional funds. The email monitoring would have let them intercept communications from your banks. And then, eventually, they would have had enough documentation to seek power of attorney, claiming you were incompetent to manage your own affairs. You would have lost everything. The room was quiet, except for the sound of Emma typing on her keyboard. There's something else, Detective Chen said. We ran Ashley Mitchell's name through our database. She's done this before. Not to family members, but she was involved in a credit card scam targeting elderly customers at her previous job. The charges were dropped when she made restitution. That was the final piece. Ashley wasn't just a desperate wife making bad choices. She was a predator who specialized in targeting seniors. Detective Chen, what do you need from me to move forward? Your signature on the complaint forms, your testimony, and your commitment to see this through, even when your son starts calling and begging you to drop the charges. I looked at Emma, who nodded encouragingly. Where do I sign? As Detective Chen prepared the paperwork, my phone lit up with notifications. Text messages from Derek, voicemails from Ashley, even a message from my ex-husband asking what was going on. But the only message that mattered was the one from Emma. "I'm proud of you, Grandma B. You're saving yourself and protecting other seniors they might target next." She was right. This wasn't just about me anymore. I woke up to my phone ringing at 7 a.m. The caller ID showed a number I didn't recognize. "Mrs. Mitchell, this is David Torres, HR Director at Premier Financial Services. I believe you know one of our employees, Ashley Mitchell?" I sat up straighter. Ashley worked at a financial services company. Given what Detective Chen had told me about her previous fraud conviction, this could be interesting. "Yes, I know Ashley. She's my daughter-in-law, Mrs. Mitchell. We became aware through social media that Ashley may have been involved in fraudulent financial activities involving a family member. I want you to know that we take these allegations very seriously." "What does that mean exactly?" "It means Ashley Mitchell is no longer employed by Premier Financial Services as of this morning. We cannot have someone with her background and current legal issues handling our clients' financial information." I felt a surge of satisfaction so pure it was almost dizzying. "Mr. Torres, I appreciate you calling to let me know. There's more, Mrs. Mitchell. We've also reported this incident to the State Financial Services Licensing Board. Ashley's certifications will likely be revoked pending the outcome of the criminal investigation." After I hung up, I called Emma to share the news. "Grandma B, it gets better. I've been monitoring Ashley's social media, and she's been posting increasingly desperate messages trying to control the narrative. But people aren't buying it." "What kind of messages?" "She's claiming you're having memory issues and that she was just trying to help organize your finances. But your Facebook friends are not having it." Janet shared her own story about her sister's financial abuse case, and now there's this whole thread of people sharing similar experiences. I opened Facebook and saw what Emma meant. My original post had been shared over 200 times, and the comments section had become a support group for seniors dealing with family financial abuse. "Martha from my book club. This is so common. My nephew tried the same thing with my mother. These predators count on us being too embarrassed or too family loyal to report them." Susan from church. "Barbara is one of the sharpest women I know. Anyone claiming she's confused about money has never seen her negotiate with contractors or manage her investment portfolio." My former supervisor, Robert. "I worked with Barbara for 15 years. She was our top financial analyst. The idea that she can't manage her own money is laughable." But the comment that made me smile came from an unexpected source. Derek's high school friend, Mike. "Dude, your mom was always the smart one in your family. Remember when she helped us all with our college applications? If Ashley convinced you she was losing it, you got played." My phone rang. This time it was Derek. "Mom, you have to make this stop. Ashley lost her job. People are calling us thieves. The kids are seeing this stuff online. Derek, did you steal from me? It's not that simple." "It's exactly that simple. Did you or did you not charge $10,000 to my credit card without my permission?" Long pause. "Ashley said you wouldn't mind. Did you ask me?" "No, but then you stole from me, and now you're facing the consequences." "Mom, please, I'll pay you back every penny. Ashley will get another job. We can fix this." "Derek, how many times over the years have you promised to pay me back for things? Your car repair 3 years ago? The down payment help 2 years ago? The emergency dental work last year?" Silence. "You owe me over $20,000 in unpaid loans already. And now you want me to believe you'll pay back another $10,000? That's different. That was family helping family." "No, Derek. That was me enabling your irresponsibility. And this time, you crossed a line from which there's no going back. Mom, if you press charges, I could go to prison. Ashley definitely will. What about the kids?" For the first time in our conversation, Derek's voice cracked with genuine emotion. "Derek, you should have thought about your children before you decided to commit felonies. They deserve better parents than thieves." As I hung up, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years. Complete clarity about my relationship with my son. For 10 years, I'd been trying to earn back his approval after my divorce. I'd been hoping that somehow, if I was generous enough, patient enough, understanding enough, he'd remember that he loved me. But Derek didn't love me. He loved what I could do for him. And that was a relationship I was finally ready to end. 3 days after the police report was filed, Derek and Ashley showed up at my door together. But this time, they brought the children. I watched through my peephole as Ashley positioned 8-year-old Sophie and 10-year-old Derek Jr. in front of my door like human shields, then rang the doorbell. "Grandma Barbara," Sophie's small voice called through the door. "Mommy says you're mad at us." My heart broke. These children had no idea what their parents had been doing. In their minds, Grandma had suddenly turned mean for no reason. I opened the door, keeping the chain on. "Hi, sweetheart. I'm not mad at you at all. I love you very much." "Then why won't you help Mommy and Daddy?" Derek Jr. asked, his 8-year-old face confused and sad. Ashley stepped forward, her expression a calculated mix of desperation and manipulation. "Barbara, look at what you're doing to these children. They don't understand why their grandmother suddenly hates their family." "I don't hate them," I said quietly. "But I won't be stolen from, lied to, or manipulated anymore." Derek looked haggard. He'd clearly been crying, and for a moment I felt the old maternal instinct to comfort him. But then I remembered Detective Chen's words about how close they'd come to destroying my life. "Mom, please, just drop the charges. We'll figure out a payment plan. Ashley's already applied for new jobs." "Derek, dropping criminal charges won't erase what you did. It won't give Ashley back her professional license. And it won't undo the fact that you spent months planning to steal my identity. We weren't stealing. You accessed my emails without permission. You opened credit cards in my name. You tried to redirect my mail. What would you call that?" Ashley's mask finally slipped completely. "I'd call it trying to save you from yourself. You're 65 years old, Barbara. You should be slowing down, not gallivanting around the country like some teenager. You should be thinking about your legacy, about what you're leaving for these children." "My legacy?" I looked down at Sophie and Derek Jr., who were listening to every word. "My legacy is showing these children that nobody, not even family, has the right to steal from you. My legacy is teaching them that actions have consequences." "Grandma," Sophie said in her small voice, "are Mommy and Daddy going to jail?" The question hung in the air like a blade. Ashley and Derek were both staring at me, waiting to see if I'd back down when faced with a child's innocent question. I knelt down so I was at Sophie's eye level. "Sweetheart, sometimes grown-ups make very bad choices. When they do, they have to face consequences, just like when you break rules at school. Your Mommy and Daddy took money from me without asking. That's called stealing, and it's against the law. But their family," Derek Jr. said, clearly parroting something he'd heard at home. "Yes, they are. And that makes what they did even worse. Families should protect each other, not hurt each other." Ashley grabbed both children's hands. "Come on, kids. Grandma Barbara has made her choice. She cares more about money than she does about family." As they started to walk away, I called out, "Ashley?" She turned, hope flickering in her eyes for just a moment. "The next time you use children to manipulate someone, remember that I used to work in marketing. I know every trick you're trying to pull." That evening, Emma came over with Chinese takeout and updates on the investigation. "The FBI has taken over the case because of the mail fraud and the interstate credit card charges," she said. "This is federal now, Grandma B." "Good," I said, surprising myself with how calm I felt. Maybe that will prevent them from doing this to someone else's grandmother. For the first time in 10 years, I felt completely at peace with my decision to put myself first. The call came on a Tuesday morning while I was having coffee on my Lake Tahoe rentals deck, watching the sunrise paint the water gold. Emma was asleep in the guest room. She'd decided to spend her spring break with me instead of partying with college friends. "Mrs. Mitchell?" "Detective Chen. I have news about your case." "Good news, I hope?" "Ashley Mitchell pled guilty to all charges yesterday: identity theft, credit card fraud, mail fraud, and elder abuse. She'll serve 18 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised probation. She'll also pay full restitution to you and cover all associated legal costs." I set down my coffee cup carefully. "And Derek? Your son pled guilty to credit card fraud and will serve 6 months in county jail, followed by 2 years of probation. The judge was lenient because he cooperated fully and because this was his first offense." "What about the children?" "They're staying with Derek's father temporarily. Child Services is involved, but since your ex-husband has no criminal record and stable housing, they'll likely remain with him." After I hung up, I sat quietly watching the lake. Justice had been served, but it felt different than I'd expected. Not triumphant exactly, but final, clean. Emma emerged from the guest room with bedhead and a coffee mug. Was that about Derek and Ashley? I filled her in on Detective Chen's call. Emma listened without interrupting, then sat down next to me on the deck. How do you feel? Like I can finally breathe, I said honestly. For months I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for them to find some way to blame me or manipulate me into dropping charges or convince everyone I was the bad guy. Now it's over. And Derek? I thought about my son, probably sitting in a county jail cell, finally understanding that actions have consequences. I feel sorry for him, but not sorry enough to regret protecting myself. My phone buzzed with a text from my ex-husband. Barbara, I owe you an apology. I never realized how manipulative Derek had become. Thank you for stopping this before it got worse. The kids are safe with me. That message meant more to me than any court verdict could have. Later that day, we drove into town for lunch. At the restaurant, I overheard two elderly women at the next table discussing their own family financial problems. One was afraid her grandson was stealing from her, but she didn't want to cause trouble. Without thinking, I turned around. Excuse me, but I couldn't help overhearing. 6 months ago, I discovered my own son and daughter-in-law had stolen over $10,000 from me and were planning to take much more. Both women looked shocked. What did you do? The worried grandmother asked. I pressed charges. They're both in prison now. But family doesn't steal from family. And if they do, they face the same consequences as strangers would. I gave her Detective Chen's card and my phone number. If you need someone to talk to who's been through this, call me. As Emma and I walked back to our rental car, she smiled at me. You know what you've become, Grandma B? What? A guardian angel for other seniors. Your Facebook post has been shared over 3,000 times. You've started a movement. Looking back at the lake house, my lake house, that I'd paid for with money I'd earned and saved and protected, I realized she was right. My scars had indeed become my wisdom. And now I was sharing that wisdom with others who needed it. 1 year later, I'm sitting in my home office in Denver reviewing applications for the Scars to Wisdom Foundation I started 6 months ago. We provide legal support and financial counseling for seniors facing family financial abuse. The foundation was Emma's idea. Grandma B, she'd said, you've helped 12 seniors in the past year just through Facebook and word of mouth. Imagine what you could do with actual resources. She was right. After my story went viral, I'd been contacted by seniors from across the country dealing with similar situations. Adult children stealing identities, grandchildren maxing out credit cards, family members pressuring elderly relatives to sign over property or change wills. Each story broke my heart and strengthened my resolve. My phone rings. It's Detective Chen. Mrs. Mitchell, I wanted to give you an update. We just arrested someone in Phoenix using the same methods your daughter-in-law used. Mail forwarding, email hacking, fake credit applications, identical pattern. How did you connect it to Ashley's case? Your foundation's database. When we put out alerts about these specific fraud patterns, we got a hit from 3 different states. Ashley apparently taught this method to others before she was arrested. I shake my head. Even from prison, Ashley was helping us catch more predators. There's more, Detective Chen continues. The Phoenix case? The victim was a 68-year-old widow. Her daughter-in-law had stolen over $45,000 before the woman saw your Facebook story and realized what was happening. After I hang up with Detective Chen, I open my laptop and pull up the foundation's website. In 6 months, we've helped 127 seniors report financial abuse, recovered over $2.3 million in stolen funds, and provided legal support that led to 34 criminal convictions. But the number that matters most to me is 8. The number of seniors who've told me our intervention saved their lives. Literally. 8 people who were so devastated by family betrayal that they were considering suicide, until they realized they weren't alone. My doorbell rings. I'm not expecting anyone, but when I look through the peephole, I see Derek Jr. standing there with my ex-husband, Tom. Barbara? Tom calls through the door. Derek would like to see you. He's 12 now, and he's been asking questions about what happened. I open the door. Derek Jr. has grown tall in the past year. He looks so much like his father did at that age, before life and poor choices hardened Derek's face. Hi, Grandma Barbara. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? I'm okay. Grandpa Tom has been taking good care of us. Sophie's at soccer practice, but I wanted to talk to you. Tom gives me a meaningful look. I'll wait in the car. Take your time. Derek Jr. and I sit on my couch, the same couch where I'd discovered the credit card fraud a year ago. Grandma Barbara, I understand now what my dad and mom did to you. Grandpa Tom explained it all. I wait, letting him find his words. They stole from you, and they lied about it, and they tried to make you look crazy so they could steal more. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry they did that to you, and I'm sorry I helped them that day when they brought us to your door. My heart breaks for this 12-year-old boy trying to process his parents' crimes. Derek, you were just a child. You didn't know what was really happening. But I do now, and I want you to know that Sophie and I aren't like them. We won't steal from people. We won't lie to family. I reach over and hug him tightly. I know you won't, sweetheart. You're going to be better than they were. Grandma Barbara, can I ask you something? Anything. Are you proud of yourself for stopping them? I think about that question. Am I proud? A year ago, I might have felt guilty for sending my son to jail, for breaking up his marriage, for traumatizing his children. But today, I think about the 127 seniors we've helped, the $2.3 million we've recovered, the 8 lives we've saved. Yes, Derek, I'm proud of myself for being strong enough to protect not just myself, but other grandmothers too. He smiles. The first genuine smile I've seen from him in over a year. I'm proud of you too, Grandma Barbara. You turned something really bad into something really good. As I watch him walk back to Tom's car, I realize he's right. My deepest scar, my son's betrayal, had become my greatest source of wisdom and purpose. At 66, I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. And I'm helping others do the same. My scars have indeed become my strength.